All right, so this lesson is focused around introducing students to algebra concepts. And really when it comes down to it, algebra is based around variables, which you'll soon find out involves having a letter or an unknown in a math problem you have to figure out, all right? And so saying that, you may have seen this word before, variable. But very simply, it's a letter that represents or stands for a number. Okay? To vary means to change. So variables are not always going to be the same thing. They can be different letters. They can be different numbers depending on the problem. In science class, a variable in an experiment is something that you change to get different results. So that's sort of where what the definition is. But very simply, you can remember it as a letter in a math problem. Okay, and an algebraic expression has something very specific in it. Okay, it has the word algebra in there, but it must contain a variable. Okay, in addition to a variable, it contains numbers and it contains operations. Okay, so before we've talked about how a numerical expression contains numbers and operations. To add to that, you add a variable in there, it becomes algebraic. Okay, let's start doing some algebra skills. So let's move down here and work on some problems. So really, this just gets us used to using letters, using variables at the same time with numbers. All right, so this first set here, it says evaluate n minus 5, and then in each of these problems, it tells us what n is going to be. To evaluate simply means to solve, okay? So n minus 5 right here is our expression, our algebraic expression we're using for numbers 1 through 4. So for the first one, n equals 8. What do you do with n equals 8? All right, well, we have an n and an n. So you substitute, or you plug in the 8 for n. So if we rewrite this expression up here, n minus 5, if you plug in 8 down here for n, we get 8 minus 5, which equals 3. All right? Some students get confused on this because there's a letter, there's an n, a variable in here. All right? Let's work on number 2. Okay, n equals 121. What do we do with that? Well, remember our original expression up here, n minus 5. What is n? In this case, it's 121. So you substitute it, 121 minus 5 equals 116. Hopefully you're seeing how this works. Okay, you're just plugging in n equals whatever that number is. You put the number up here for n, all right? Number 3, n equals 32. So you rewrite the algebraic expression, 32 minus 5 equals 27. Last one, n equals 59. So 59 gets substituted for n. 59 minus 5 equals 54. Okay, so if you're ever given the value of n equals this, n equals this, n equals something else. If they tell you what the variable is, you simply plug it back in to whatever the expression is and you solve for it. Pretty simple. All right, let's move on to this next section to finish out our video. Evaluate each expression for the given values of the variable. All right, so again, it's telling us what each variable equals. N equals 4. The next one's h equals 60. X equals 2. All right, so it tells us what to plug in for the variable. All right. Only thing that's different from this bottom part from the top part is you have a different expression each time. All right, you're not using the same one. So let's work through a few of these. Okay, so 3n plus 15, and n equals 4. So we plug 4 for n. Anytime you see a number and a variable right next to each other with nothing in between it, it means multiplication. So you can imagine this is the same thing as 3 times n. Okay? It means the same exact thing. 3 times n plus 15. Okay? If we plug in our 4, 3 times 4, because that's what n equals, plus 15. Remember we talked about order of operations earlier in this unit. Okay, this is when that comes into play here. So make sure you're following PEMDAS to do your operations in the correct order. So we multiply first. 3 times 4 is 12. I'm going to rewrite over here. So 12 plus 15. That's my new expression. And then we can solve here. 12 plus 15 equals 27. Okay. I wish we had room to write these vertically. I apologize for that. It's always better to solve vertically up and down instead of left to right. Remember, if you need to pause, rewind the video, please do so. All right, h divided by 12. H equals 60. So we plug in 60 for h. So 60 divided by 12. This is a basic math fact. Hopefully you know up to your 12s with math facts. And that equals 5. All right? 32x minus 32. And x equals 2. So you plug in 2 for x. Remember, 32x means 32 times x. So this becomes 32 times 2 minus 32. Okay, so remember order of operations. Multiplication comes before subtraction. So 32 times 2 gives us 64. And then keep your minus 32. Okay, so here's our new expression right here. 64 minus 32 gives us 32. That's our final answer. All right, moving on. C divided by 2. That's our expression, algebraic expression. And it tells us C equals 24. So you plug in 24 for C. So 24 divided by 2, basic math fact, equals 12. That's our answer. Okay. Erase some of this stuff so it's not all crowded. N divided by 2. And then if you notice, after the parentheses, there's a 5. If it's right next to the parentheses, just like if it's right next to the variable, it means multiplication. So this is n divided by 2 times 5. Okay. And then here's our n equals 14. You plug it in over here. So I'm going to rewrite the expression. So make sure you rewrite the new expression whenever you plug something in, whenever you change something, do an operation. Okay, so one step at a time. So 14, make sure you include your parentheses, 14 divided by 2. And then I like to actually write the little times sign, times 5. It just, when you see the operations, I think it helps, okay? So remember, parentheses first, following PEMDAS over here. 14 divided by 2 gives us 7. So I'm going to rewrite my new expression, 7 times 5. And that equals 35. Okay. Number 10. P equals 15. Plug it in. 8p plus 148. So 8p means 8 times p. So 8 times 15 plus 148. Okay. So guys, on some of these things, I really don't mind if you use your calculator as long as you show your steps on paper. So 8 times 15 gives us 120 plus 148. Our final step here, add 148, and we get 268 for our final answer. Okay. Okay, these last three, I'm just going to work through quickly for the sake of time. If you need to pause or slow down, rewind, so you can follow along, make sure you do that. So 8 squared minus 7. 8 squared becomes 64 minus 7. 64 minus 7 equals 57. Okay, notice we have two D's in here, so you just plug 5 in for both of them. Okay, 3 times 5 squared, make sure you keep your exponent up there. Okay, plus 5. Remember order of operations. Exponents come before multiplication, so we got to worry about that first. So 5 squared, same thing as 5 times 5, which is 25. So 3 times 25 plus 5. Multiplication before addition. 3 times 25 is 75 plus 5. And finally, our final answer is 80. All right, last one, the video is done. K equals 2. 40 minus 4 times k. Remember your exponent, we got a 3, k cubed. Oops, sorry, it's supposed to be a 2 right there, not a k. Okay, exponents come before multiplication, so 2 cubed, or 2 to the third power, equals 8. So 40 minus 4 times 8. Multiplication first gives us 32. Bring down your 40 minus 32. And our final answer is 8. All right, awesome. That's the end of the video. Introduction to algebra skills, variables and algebraic expressions.